Telling a man he's hot is one of the worst things you can do if you actually want him to fall for you. I know that sounds completely harsh. I know it feels like a compliment is a compliment, and if you'd love to hear one, surely he would too. But that thinking right there is exactly why so many women put in real effort with a guy and still end up feeling like something is missing. Like he's around, he's enjoying it, he seems interested, but he's not going deeper. He's not moving closer. She can feel that gap sitting right there between them, and she doesn't know what to do with it. She tries being more fun. She tries being more available. She tries pulling back a little, and none of it closes that gap. Because the gap isn't about how much effort she's putting in. It's about what she's actually saying to him. Specifically, it's about the fact that she's saying the same things every other woman says. And he hears those things and they feel fine, and then they disappear. But there are 8 specific things you can say to a man that land completely differently. Not because they sound impressive or carefully planned, but because they make him feel something he almost never feels from anyone. The feeling of being truly and completely seen. And when a man feels that from you, something changes in him that he can't fully explain. He doesn't just enjoy being around you. He starts to want more of it. He thinks about you when you're not there. He looks for reasons to reach out. He starts showing up in ways he didn't before. And that is what actually falling looks like. Not the moment he thinks you're attractive. Not the moment he decides he wants to spend time with you. The moment he feels like you actually know him. That is when it becomes real. And that is exactly what we are getting into today. Welcome to Heart Lab, where we break down the real psychology of attraction and connection. Not the surface stuff, not the tips about playing hard to get or texting at the right time. The actual things that create real feelings in real people and turn something casual into something neither of you wants to walk away from. Today, we are going deep on something most women have never really thought about, which is the specific words you use when you talk to him. Because the truth is, most women were never taught this. They were told to be confident, be themselves, don't seem too eager. And that advice isn't wrong, but it's also nowhere near complete. Because nobody ever mapped out what to actually say. Nobody ever explained which kinds of words create connection and which ones just sit there and do nothing. So that is what today is. A real breakdown of the 8 compliments that don't just make him feel good for a second, but make him feel genuinely seen by you. And once he feels that, the dynamic between you shifts in a way that no amount of playing it cool ever could. Before we get into the 8, make sure you subscribe to Heart Lab and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. We put out videos every week that go into the real stuff about attraction, men, and building something that actually lasts. Okay, let's get into it. Here is the thing I need you to understand first, because without this, the rest of it won't fully make sense. There are 2 completely different kinds of compliments. The first kind points at something a person has. The second kind points at something a person is. And the difference in how they land is enormous. When you tell a man he's good looking, you are pointing at something he was born with. Something he had zero input in. He didn't earn it, he didn't build it, he didn't choose it. And while it feels nice for a moment, it doesn't connect to anything real inside him. It doesn't reach the part of him that has worked hard at things, struggled through difficult periods, figured himself out over years of actual living. It just touches the surface and slides right off. That's why he smiles when you say it and forgets about it completely by the time he gets home. But when you say something that points at who he actually is, something he has built, something that reflects his values or his character or the way his mind works, something completely different happens. He doesn't just feel good for a second. He feels seen. He feels like someone is actually paying attention. And that feeling, The feeling of being genuinely seen by another person is one of the most powerful things that exists between two people. It is the foundation of real attachment. It is what takes like and turns it into something much harder to walk away from. And here is the part that makes all of this matter so much. That feeling is genuinely rare. Most people go through their entire lives rarely feeling it. So when a woman creates that feeling in a man, he holds on to it. He holds on to her because he knows, even if he can't put it into words, that what she just gave him is not something he finds everywhere. Now let's talk about how to actually do it. Number one, tell him this. The way your mind works is honestly one of my favorite things about you. Sit with that for a second and think about what it actually does to him. Think about every compliment this man has ever received. He's been told he's good looking, he's funny, he seems like a solid guy, and all of that is fine. But almost nobody has ever isolated the specific way he thinks and named it as something they genuinely love about him. Not his appearance, not his sense of humor in a general way, his mind. The way he processes things, the way he connects ideas that other people don't connect, the way he sees a situation from an angle that surprises you. That is something he has been developing his entire life. Every hard thing he has worked through, every time he sat with a problem and figured it out, every perspective he has built from his own experience, all of that lives in how his mind works. And you just told him you see it. You told him it stands out to you. You told him it is one of your favorite things about him specifically. That doesn't just make him feel good. It makes him feel like you are paying attention on a level that almost nobody does. And once a man feels that from you, he starts to see you differently. He starts to feel genuinely curious about you. He starts to wonder what else you notice. And that curiosity, that quiet wondering, is the very beginning of falling. Number two, say this to him. You're actually really easy to talk to. And I don't feel that with a lot of people. Here is something that most women don't know about men. A lot of them carry a quiet and unspoken worry that they're not that interesting to be around, that they don't know how to hold a conversation well, that women get bored of them, or that the energy they bring is just okay but not memorable. They would never say this out loud, but it's there, sitting underneath the surface of a lot of early interactions. That low-level anxiety of, am I doing enough here? Is she actually enjoying this or just being polite? Should I be funnier or more interesting than I'm being right now? And most of the time, nobody ever addresses it. So it just stays there. When you tell him that talking to him feels genuinely easy and natural, and that you don't get that feeling with most people, you cut through all of that in one sentence. You're telling him that with you, he doesn't have to perform. He doesn't have to work harder or be wittier or show up as some better version of himself. He can just be who he actually is. And that is more than enough. And the relief that comes with that, the deep comfort of feeling like you can completely relax around someone, creates an attachment that builds faster than almost anything else, because you become the person who gives him that feeling. And people hold very tightly to the people who make them feel like they are already enough exactly as they are. Number three, tell him this. I love how you handled that. Most people would have just walked away. What makes this one so powerful is the specificity of it. You are not saying he's a good person in a vague and general way. You're pointing to one real specific moment and saying, I was watching when that happened. And what you did stood out to me. Men care very deeply about being someone who handles things well. It is tied directly to how they see themselves and measure their own character. And most of the time, the moments when they do show up with real integrity go completely unnoticed. People around them just move on to the next thing, and he quietly files it away, wondering whether anyone even registered what just happened. So when you notice, and you say it out loud, and you connect it to the fact that not everyone would have done the same thing, you are giving him something that goes much deeper than a simple compliment. You are confirming something he hopes is true about who he is. And that confirmation coming from you, coming unprompted, coming because you were paying close enough attention to catch it, makes you someone he wants to keep around, because you make him feel like the person he is genuinely trying to be. Number 4. Say this to him. Honestly, your work ethic kind of makes me want to step up my own game. Now, this one does something the others don't, and it's important. It doesn't just tell him something good about himself. It tells him that he has a real and measurable effect on you. That who he is and the way he moves through his life is actually influencing how you think about your own. And that is a profoundly powerful thing for a man to hear, because it means he matters to you in a way that goes past attraction, past enjoying each other's company, past the early, easy stuff. He is making you better. His presence in your life has a positive ripple effect on who you are becoming. And when a man truly feels that, when he feels like he is contributing something real and meaningful to someone he cares about, something shifts in how he sees the whole situation. It stops feeling like something casual and undefined. It starts feeling like something significant, something worth showing up for more fully. Because people invest deeply in the things and the people that make them feel like they genuinely matter. Number 5. Tell him this. You know what I really respect about you? You say what you mean. You don't play games with people. Think about how rarely a man hears that his directness and honesty are things a woman specifically respects and values. Because in a lot of dating situations, being too upfront, being too clear, saying exactly what you think and mean is actually treated like a problem. People play it cool. People hedge everything. People keep their options open and their words carefully vague. And a man who refuses to do that, who just says what he means and is clear about who he is, often genuinely wonders whether that quality is working for him or quietly working against him. So when you name it, when you look at him and say, I see that and I value it specifically, you make him feel like that part of who he is deserves to be protected. Like being real and honest is something to be proud of and not something to tone down. And beyond that, it signals something to him about you. It tells him that you are someone who can handle the truth, someone who isn't going to punish him for being straightforward. And that makes him feel genuinely safe to be completely himself around you. That kind of safety doesn't come easily, and it doesn't get forgotten. Number 6. This one is quieter than the others, but it might actually be the one that hits the deepest. Say to him, I always feel better after talking to you. I'm not even sure how you do it. What you are communicating here is that your actual emotional state changes because of him. That after spending time with him, or even just having a conversation with him, you come away feeling lighter or calmer.